Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. We're going to go ahead and get started. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all those great things that we're getting prepared for. Thank you for joining. And just, I know that you're excited about winter break, some time to just decompress a little bit for yourself. So we're thankful for you joining us today, knowing that most of you, I think this would be the last week of school for you. Again, thank you for just coming in, and thank you for the service and what you provided for students so far this year in just very uncertain times. And also thank you to if you would just join me in thanking the um, Office of Career and Technical Education staff for the work that they've done. I tell you what, they've been hard at work doing so many things to ensure that CTE is at the forefront for South Carolina. So if you would just join me in thanking them for the work that they've been doing thus far, I would appreciate it. Okay. And so we're going to go ahead and begin. We're not going to keep you long. We're going to keep this down to an hour, but definitely we'll have great information to share with you. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, great. Wonderful. So we're going to go ahead and begin. And today, some of the things that we will be going over is looking at industry recognized credentials. Today is a very important day as we will be meeting for the approval of those today. We'll also talk about work-based learning a little bit. We have an RFP that's coming out for our Perkins 5 Reserve Fund. So you want to make sure you pay special attention to that, as those are some very quick and upcoming deadlines that are pretty short. Dual credit for CTE completer status. We'll talk a little bit about the work that we've done this year for that. Comprehensive local needs assessment, the updates and resources that we have available, and then our Education and Business Summit announcement for 2021. So to start with industry recognized credentials, today we will be going before the Education Oversight Committee for them to approve the 2021 credentials. It is late because of measures handled with the pandemic. However, they are moving forward to approve those. I wanted to share with you that they have been approved by the approved by the and supported by the chamber, the state chamber, as well as the EEDA Coordinating Council. So the 2021 industry recognized credentials are going through the approval process. And again, today, we will be with the Education Oversight Committee. We've met with them before in their subcommittee meeting where they asked the questions necessary. We provided the data as it relates to industry credentials, and with hopes that that approval is put forth today, and we can share that with you. I know some of you have been asking for that approved list for 2021, so we should have it where we can post it and share it out with you as you're preparing for your Christmas holiday or your winter holiday. We will put that out there for you so you'll have it as you return. For 2021 and 22, the industry recognized credentials, as I've shared before, and began sharing this information during our spring update prior to us going home for the pandemic and being on that virtual format. The 21-22 recognized credentials, industry credentials, will be listed in a stackable format. And so they will be listed in tiers. And the tiers will be organized as the beginning of program credentials, mid-program credentials, and those that are at the end of a program. We will take the list that we currently have, add to that list, and then organize those into tiers. It has already been organized with a focus group, and we'll continue to do that work. And I'll share how you will have the opportunity to continue commenting on the work and ensuring that the revisions made benefit and meet the needs of you as people working in the field with students. You can advance. Yeah, thank you. It's okay. So the stackable credentials will actually 2021 will propose those credentials in the spring of 21. We do have a draft available. However, we do need to update that and add specific things to it, and it's pending upon the approval today from the Education Oversight Committee and those credentials that some of you have sent in to be approved for the 21-22 school year. So this year we'll propose that stackable format, and in April we'll send it to the EOC for approval. And then in 21-22, that will be a transition year. 22-23 will be full implementation. The purpose of doing this is that some of you have had experience with looking at that student reporting guide, procedures reporting guide, and looking in there and seeing all of the credentials that actually help a student to get that credential that is identified as career ready. And a lot of times the question will come, can we spend funding on those credentials that may not be on that career readiness list? And the answer is yes, because they help a child to get to that career readiness credential. So we want to be sure that we have a system that accounts for all of the credentials, and it shows them on a trajectory for students and adults. So they can look to see, here's what I need to do if I want to become an RN, here are the steps that I need to take. And that may include CPR, a BLS, OSHA, CNA, and the like to get to that point. So we want to be able to increase awareness and show that trajectory, that pathway, that forward that leads for students and adults into industry credential attainment. And ultimately, we want to place value on all of the credentials offered because they do hold value, and show them as a part of the process that leads towards a student being career ready or job placement. So that transition to the stackable credential timeline in January will take the credentials that you have sent in for 21-22, which were due, I believe it was October, the end of October. We'll revise the list that we have now based on the approval from EOC and any additional credentials to be added. We'll put it out for public comment between February and March, and then have a special meeting where you'll have an opportunity to look at those tiers and see what's in tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. You will have firsthand knowledge and input on where those credentials lie and what credentials are identified as career ready. And no, there won't be too much change from what we have before, but it'll be in a tiered format to show a progression. So in February and March, you'll be able to have public review and comment. In March, we'll revise those comments and make adjustments based on what you have provided, as well as business and industry who will be engaged in this process as well. And once we come to a consensus on what that draft looks like, then we will send that to the EOC for approval on April 21. Again, 21 and 22 will be that transition year for those credentials being listed in a stackable format. 22-23 will be full implementation. And so what we anticipate is that the look of industry recognized credentials will change so far as ensuring that we value all credentials. Okay. So the next thing that I want to talk about is work-based learning, and this is incredibly important. So on the call today, you'll see that we have added our regional career specialists. We've added them due to the important work that's there. So last year, and I shared this data with you on our last call together, in 1920, we had almost 83,000 occurrences for work-based learning of some type, whether that was job shadowing, apprenticeship, internship, co-op, all of those things. We had almost 83,000 occurrences, and that is from elementary to high school. We had a decrease in the number of occurrences of 30% from 18-19, which we had about almost 118,000 occurrences from elementary to high. So that's a significant decrease for work-based learning. And in a time now that where economic recovery is necessary, it is imperative that we give students the opportunity to not only attain that credential to say they have the knowledge, but also the experience to say they have the skill set. You can advance to the next slide. And so I wanted to take some time to break down and show you what those numbers look like in comparison from 1920 to 1819. And I will tell you that our regional career specialists have been doing a wonderful job. And I anticipate that work-based learning opportunities will increase during the spring semester as students are able to get into business and industry. And so, as you can see here, the area that we increased in by 134% is in the number of students who took a CTE internship credit-bearing course or that work-based learning course. Everything else significantly decreased by at least 10% or more. Okay. And we don't want to see that decrease. So we can account for some of that because of COVID, but we also need to keep our mind and our eye on the ball of this data and what we're doing currently to increase the opportunities for students, as this is at the forefront of not only our minds, business and industry, and also legislators. So I challenge you, I challenge, if you're not on mute, if you could mute, that would be great.
Stacey came. I mean, Audra told me this morning that she didn't feel good, but Stacey came and told me.
Jackie, can we mute?
This is Audra right now.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And
I was trying to call you to tell you.
I can mute. There we go. So if you would, please make sure that you're paying attention to this so that we can increase in that. The regional career specialists and the workforce advisors from Department of Commerce, as well as various persons from Apprenticeship Carolina, met last week to talk about the coordination to get students in on work-based learning experiences. And I'm excited to have them on the line today and listening to this, and they'll come into these calls more frequently so that they could see this data along with you and we do things to move forward. As we know that report card ratings are waived for this upcoming year, we still need to keep our eye on the ball of the data because it still matters and it is stuff that we have to report or data that we have to report federally. You can move forward. And so I wanted to make sure that I reiterate and share the wonderful resources that have been put in place for you on that CTE-OPLI board. This actual presentation will be shared out. You have a link to it there of where you'll have information with regards to the regional career specialist, the virtual toolkit, which could be essential to helping you to get some job shadowing experiences done virtually, the work-based learning implementation guide and agreement form, and then specifically the micro career burst. Yes, that has been actually published. The micro career burst job shadowing videos and assignments are also there. So if you need an opportunity to look at or have your students to do some job shadowing virtually or to look at various careers on elementary on up, then these are ideas for you to use that are free of charge to you to use to ensure that students have those experiences and we increase the number of occurrences. Also think of ways that you can engage with your business and industry partnerships if it is having them come in on industry talk and so forth, and being able to virtually show what they have going on and what's being offered. Some of you have done some amazing things that I've been able to see so far as visits are concerned, engaging with business and industry, and we challenge you to continue to do that and increase those occurrences so that we see things moving in the positive direction and not regressing.
Angel, there's a quick question. I don't know if you started in the chat from Scott about, is it official that report card ratings are waived for this year?
Yes, I believe they already put that out, but what I'll do is double check to make sure that you're understanding yes. But I will share that with you, Jackie, so you can share it out. I'll look for the memo.
Okay.
The waivers. So for work-based learning state coordination, as I said, those individuals met last week. And I wanted to put this graphic here so you can see how we serve you. So schools and districts are at the top because we serve you. And we serve you to be able to have output, great output for kids so far as workforce development is concerned. So you have the three entities, and these are just three of many, but these are the ones that met last week with Apprenticeship Carolina, Department of Ed, and Department of Commerce. And you see the arms that reach out to you from those particular areas. So you have the apprenticeship consultants, and then the new two pieces added to their office due to the granting of the Department of Labor funding is the youth apprenticeship coordinators and registered program specialists. Those individuals under Apprenticeship Carolina are mostly focused, solely focused on developing registered apprenticeship and pre-apprenticeship programs. And so that's their arm and what they do. For the regional career specialist, it's about gaining those work-based learning experiences inside of a registered apprenticeship and outside of that scope, to include cooperative education, school-based enterprise, job shadowing, apprenticeships that are not registered, because some businesses are not ready to do that but still want to offer the opportunity. And then the Department of Commerce are your regional work, where you have your regional workforce advisors, and they are engaging with business and bringing them to education. So the regional career specialist is that arm that works directly with the school to engage education and bring it to business. And each and every portion or the arms from the different agencies are intermediaries to help you. And so our aim is to work on coordination so that when we do meet with you, or when you do meet with those counterparts, those Rolo-like counterparts, there is coordination and alignment on the work that's happening, and it's not a duplication of meetings or information requested, that there is a complete alignment, streamlined, and great coordination, so that when they do get the information and reach out to you, there's that one touch point. And then also with business, it's the same thing. So the path forward, you can move forward. Thank you, Maria. The path forward for South Carolina workforce is to impact it on as a whole. So it's not just if you know about or know our CTE mission statement, it is aligned with workforce development for our state. It is the exact same mission, because we want to impact South Carolina workforce as a whole. So these entities coming together around that, when we continue to have these meetings, and the first meeting was amazing, we know that we will have greater coordination, seamless workflow between business and industry and education, the alignments of our goals together, and the increased number of students and adults who acquire those industry credentials or those post-secondary credentials, experiences, and skill sets in the workforce. And so as we move forward, keep those data points from 1920 in mind, and ensure that you are working to increase those occurrences so that we can deliver a skilled workforce for South Carolina. Any questions on the information shared? Do you see any questions in the chat, Jackie?
No, ma'am, we're good.
Awesome. So I'm going to turn it over to Maria to talk about Perkins Reserve Fund.
Thank you. I had to unmute. I apologize. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope that you are preparing for a very happy holiday season. As Angel mentioned earlier, we have an opportunity this year working with the Perkins 5 Reserve funding. When they reauthorized the legislation for Perkins 5, they gave a greater amount of flexibility than prior legislation offered. They realized that not every state operated the same way, and states had different needs. And so they revised the language to allow more collaborative partnerships to meet those needs of the learners, the educators, the employers, and really promote the alignment of programs. One element of that alignment we all saw was with the local needs assessment and working on a regional and collaborative level. And so this is kind of a second folding into that concept. And so we are working very closely with the technical college system. The RFP will be released this week. I'm waiting for them to give some final tweaks on it, just to make sure that both post-secondary and secondary partnerships are representative equally and strongly, because this is going to be a partnership for the students of South Carolina. And so it's going to identify those priorities, a lot of which we looked at with the CLNA, but also looking with your partnership on your local level and helping to focus those Perkins dollars on those priorities. And the flexibility will allow you to think about some important needs and align the funds to make that impact. And it is really our hope that this will help you move that pen forward a little more for your students. It's been a crazy year, and so hoping that this is going to give us a brand new start for the new year and just a new way to strengthen and increase our opportunities for our students. It's going to allow that expanding and exploring and choosing those programs, encouraging credentials of value. It will be awarded to those eligible recipients, which are the secondary and post-secondary. It will be a competitive basis, and there will be priority points for that partnership with post-secondary, and post-secondary is aware of this as well. They'll be the competitive basis will be for both secondary and post-secondary, and priority points for those partnerships and those collaborations. So some of the ideas that we're looking at for supporting the funding is, again, that collaboration of secondary to post-secondary for programs of study and student support, that end of course national certifications, making sure those students have those credentials of value, career awareness and student recruitment, not only into the programs, but also just getting them to that completer status and getting them where they need to go, and make sure that we're offering everything we can to help the students. Professional development and training for faculty, teachers, and staff. It's been a crazy year, and I know things have always kind of been a scramble since March, but with this new year, hoping things can realign and we can step forward together. Those services for those economically disadvantaged youth, and increasing opportunities for accessing that education, those career-oriented experiences, work-based learning activities, internships, mentoring, service learning, and especially focusing on those students in those rural areas where those opportunities might not be in as abundance. So as Angel mentioned, this really is going to be a quick turnaround. We will have a technical assistance webinar on January 6th, Wednesday, January 6th. Looking to get an email of intent from the field Friday, January 15th. And the application will be January 29th. We'll have the RFP out. It is my goal to have it out and available to you tomorrow. That will allow you to review it in detail. It'll have the link, which will be, it'll be an online application in FormStack. It is competitive, and we will be reviewing that. We've got a team of reviewers. Priority points again for that post-secondary, secondary collaboration. And if you have any questions in regards to it, please do not hesitate to let me know. I'm here to help you. I again apologize for the quick turnaround, but we think it's going to be a great new start for the new year. And I will hand it over to Eleanor at this point.
Hello, everyone. I want to give you a brief update with what we are doing with dual credit for CTE completer status. And what we'll start with is our timeline And as you can see, we did some things during the summer from July to August. We had a work group that consisted of LEA representatives, the technical college centers, the technical college system representatives, and also technical college representatives. And we responded to a number of FAQs that we received. Then this month, we have submitted the revised guidelines for approval, so that will be posted soon and you will receive notification. Please keep in mind, if you have any courses that you want to offer for the 21-22 school year, that deadline is January the 31st. Some of you have already submitted applications and you will hear from us soon with responses for the applications that have been submitted. With our frequently asked questions, we categorize them in several different sections. We did a reference section, we have a definition section. In that definition section, we talk about the difference between dual enrollment and dual credit. One of the most important sections that's in there is the equity and access piece. We have the processes. We had also some post-secondary questions that our post-secondary representatives responded to. And we also did an outline and a graphic to show you the steps to add dual credit courses for completer status. And mainly what we were doing was clarifying what was already in our guidelines. With the equity and access piece, this is a very important piece of the whole dual credit for completer status credit. And the reason for that, this is a Perkins 5 mandate where we offer opportunities for all students. So that means we have to offer the students at the high school level to be able to count it as completer credit at the for dual credit. And that will give you, and this graphic kind of gives you an interpretation of what we're talking about when we're saying equity versus equality. And as far as our aligned courses, we have added 23 courses for the 21-22 school year for statewide recognition. And like I said, we're also continuing to accept applications. We will have a total of 78 courses that are state aligned, and you don't have to worry about those. Those can just be used if they're available in your district. Let me know if you have any questions. Oh, and I did need to mention that there is an appendix in the activity coding system manual. And I'm going to put that link up for you to have the activity coding system manual. It's located on this page. And in Appendix P, you will find the new courses that have been aligned. And in Appendix Q, Table 2, you will find the computer science for graduation credit, post-secondary courses that also count for dual credit. Are there any questions? Thank you so much. I'm done.
Good morning, everyone. This is Susie Rayford, and I am happy to be with you this morning to provide some resources and updates related to the Comprehensive Local Needs Assessment. As we all know it, the CLNA. So on the next slide, I do want to tell you that a lot of the people that are on this call will probably received the CLNA updates and resources yesterday. I emailed them to the CLNA regional lead team members distribution list. If you are not connected by some chance to your CLNA regional team, please follow up with me and let me know, and I'll be glad to make those introductions. But I think just about everybody on this call is connected to their teams. So in the first update, the CTE Administration CLNA webpage. It has been updated and you can access, not yet, please, thanks. It's been updated and you can access the overview information about Perkins 5 and the CLNA, as well as finding some new resource links there at the bottom that including the South Carolina CLNA Improvement Phase Toolkit that I shared with you during the fall update. And then the meeting template for your planning meetings coming up in 2021. That template can also be found there. Also on the horizon, we have the new CTE Business and Industry webpage coming soon, and it will actually feature the South Carolina CTE Business and Industry Toolkit. This toolkit of resources and links will be targeted to business and industry to provide them with more awareness of CTE and how they can get involved in work-based learning opportunities and other engagement activities. Next slide, please. Thanks. And so SCCTE PR campaign is in the works, and the launch is planned for February-March 2021 timeframe. We've been working hard on that information, and I thank all of you who have responded to our request for great storylines about students and teachers and business and industry engagement in CTE that'll be used, that'll be considered for use in our upcoming video. The CLNA improvement phase is coming up. We're actually in the process of the improvement phase, and the regional teams will be meeting in the March-April timeframe in 2021. And please feel free to include me in your meetings as appropriate. Calling all experts to the CLNA focus group, we're asking each regional team to provide us with one representative by the end of January 2021 to join us for the CLNA focus group. Those meetings will probably be held quarterly beginning in February, and we would like to use your expertise and recommendations as we move through the 2022 CLNA processes. And one of the first tasks at hand in the January-February timeframe will be to take a look at and maybe be our guinea pigs for the online CLNA, the online platform for the CLNA 2022. Thank you, I got flustered for a second there. Next slide, please. And so as Director Malone mentioned earlier, we are, as the South Carolina Department of Education, constantly collaborating with other state agencies, as we do with the South Carolina Department of Education and Workforce, SCDO. And the local workforce development area administrators are part of SCDO, and they can be an excellent resource during the CLNA process. So it's interesting because the Perkins 5 mission matches the vision for the State Workforce Development Board, supporting alignment of programs and resources and ensuring that the education and workforce development systems are all aiming and working towards the same goal. So these area administrators align with each of the 12 workforce regions, just like our CLNA collaborative teams align with each of the 12 workforce regions. And for a little bit of background on the administrators, they're tasked in supporting their local workforce boards, overseeing operations of the SC Work Centers in their regions, and they're responsible for creating a 4-year plan for their workforce region, describing activities that should be carried out in the region. Next slide, please. And so the area administrators have just recently submitted their 4-year plans, and they include regional labor market data analysis. Does that sound familiar? Economic conditions, local partnerships and investment strategies, program design, and evaluation. And they also take into consideration secondary and post-secondary education program activities and education and workforce investment activities to coordinate strategies, enhance services, and of course, avoid duplication of services. So as you can see, with the common emphasis on coordination and collaboration in both the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, WIOA, which is the funding the area administrators work from, and Perkins 5. Communication between the CLNA teams and the administrators can provide a wider awareness of the needs on both sides, workforce development and CTE. And of course, foster innovation and collaboration across the state. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. We will be adding to your materials from this meeting the list of names and contact information for each of the 12 workforce advisors divided up by their regions. Thank you.
Susie, there was a quick comment. I thought the E in SC do stood for employment. Is it Department of Employment and Workforce? I honestly don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. We have so many
Yes,
different
it is.
acronyms
My
to keep
mistake.
up with.
Sorry about
It's
that.
okay.
Thank you.
That is correct. Yes, ma'am.
And then Kathy Bradford asked, are the 4-year plans posted online?
They are not, as far as I know, and that is part of the reason for showing you this opportunity, because they would like to collaborate with the CLNA teams on your CLNAs so that everybody can compare notes to make sure the strategies are in common across the state. And they can possibly also offer some programming that may fill some of the gaps that the CLNAs have shown that may help the regions. That is going to be on a region by region basis. So my recommendation is to go ahead and contact the area administrator for your region and just start up the communication and start the conversation, invite them to your table as one of the stakeholders for your planning meetings.
Thanks, Susie. And then Eleanor, there's a question for you. It popped up right after you finished. It's from Cecil Bonner, and it's I'm assuming it's about dual credit, and it says, do technical schools have to agree? I'm not sure if Eleanor's available, but Cecil.
Eleanor is available. I had to unmute. You know, you
That's
always
okay.
have to unmute. There is policies at the technical colleges for the dual credit. And if something is offered in an area that another technical college does not offer, or if there are courses that are offered, yes, they do have to agree. And that information is in the FAQs. You can contact me directly, Cecil, and I can send you more information. And I see another question about how many dual credit courses can count toward the required completer status. We have allowed the ed associates for each of the programs to respond to this question. And for some of the programs, I mean, it varies based on programs. So for that information, contact the program associate that's over that program to determine how many courses can count toward completer status, because it does vary based on program.
Thank you, Eleanor.
Jackie, I just Stephen Waterson's hand. I didn't know if he had something to say.
I just wanted to let everybody know about the next Education and Business Summit. So they have the dates. I just put them in the chat also. It will be July 19th through the 22nd. We will be virtual again this year. Our hosting location will be Segra Park in Columbia. So people can come there. It's a more central location than Greenville, and we'll be using each of their suites. So it'll be a safe environment for everybody. And also, the EBS website goes live on January 1st. That's where you'll be able to find the registration link and also the proposal link. And you've got 2 months to work on your proposals. Those are due on March 1st. And if anybody has any questions about EBS, please feel free to contact me. I'll be happy to help you.
Thank you, Jackie. Can you hear me? Jackie?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I think there was a question from Stephen Waterson, or his hand was raised.
Stephen, did you have a question?
I didn't have a question. I just wanted to answer Ben Hardy. We've
Okay.
had some difficulties when it came to dual enrollment because the districts would put things before us after they'd already started them. So we're trying to get that in check now. So to answer your question, just like Eleanor said, it depends on the ed associate. And I'll give you an example about one of my programs, electrical line worker. None of the secondary schools actually offer that in the school itself with our instructors. They're offering it through colleges, and we're now going to make that where they can be completers. It should be in this student reporting procedures guide for next school year. So please reach out to us when it comes to this, because otherwise we don't know about it.
Thank you, Stephen. And thank you, Jackie, for sharing the EBS information as well. We are also excited for being virtual and hosted from Columbia in a safe environment, and excited about what we're going to do so far as business engagement is concerned. So you have that rollout coming. Super excited about that. Also wanted to share that in the contact info, we have put the South Carolina Regional Career Specialist roster in there. And we welcome Daryl Brown and Jennifer Black as new regional career specialists. Jennifer is in the Santee Lynches region, and Daryl is in the Trident region, and we're excited to have them. So if you haven't met your new regional career specialist, make sure that you do that and meet with them. They will be joining our meetings with us as we're going to do a strong push towards work-based learning. And so before we actually close out, because we have finished a little early, I've asked if we could save the chat. Jackie is the technology guru. So I had to make sure we could save the chat for you all. But if there is something that you need assistance with from the agency with us, and I just want to give you a little time to think about that. If you would put it in the chat, if there's something specific that you need. We have professional learning opportunities available. We set up with the Southern Region Educational Board some distance learning or virtual education pieces for instruction that can work in any mode of instruction or any environment, as well as we offer the distance learning playbook, along with a plethora of other things, and we want to continue that. So if there's something that you need assistance with work-based learning, with instruction on how to come back to school, we want to be able to do that. So if you would just put it in the chat and we'll respond to that, we'll save it and also respond to that, as well as be able to plan things that will assist you in those particular areas. If there are no further questions, the chat is left open for you. We want to thank you for your time here today with us, that devoted time with us, and we'll continue to push forward and continue to help you as much as we can, because we're here to serve you and in the trenches with you. Happy holidays to everyone. Jackie, I just want to check one more time. Are there any other questions in the chat that we need to
No, ma'am, not right now.
All right, so this concludes our meeting today. Have a restful holiday break.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Everybody take care and get some rest.
Happy holidays.